Welcome to Loleventvods. These are the best highlights of today's LEC 2025 matchup.
Oh, yeah.
From like T1 that has its own vintage to it.
Sure. And I think Rogue as well. I mean, Rogue, a team which I hope can really leverage off of, you know, a resurging Larson. Well, that could be interesting here at level 1.
Face checking against the Nautilus is good for Execute and Patrick. Small trade from Han Summer, but that Q connecting as well means Patrick and Execute.
Yeah.
Looks good though.
Yeah, and I think that we've seen it from every team. The other hook lands. There's a lot of landing from Execute.
Yeah, there is, and Ignite committed as well. This might be a little bit more. Execute has his flash available, and the
Be that Skirmishes path away from bot lane to go towards the top side. And we see, Cap's still on level 6. He's playing onto the weak side of the map. Spots out Malrang. Not looking for a play, but gets information for his team. Was wondering if there's something to be done there. Was moving with a bit of intent.
And just on a water, I mean, Dragon's going to be spotted, and straight to the grubs goes Skirmishes in 20 seconds as they spawn. Cap's also with level 6. I mean, we already talked about the globality. Is that a word?
It is now. It's a neologism, inventing a new word.
The globality of this comp. It sounds like such a, you know, powerful
you know,
world.
the globular nature of
yeah, that was a big pull.
I swear you just never stop seeing you grubs being traded for Dragon across the map. There's a lot of interesting conversations about whether you should trade grubs for Dragon, which side is the best right now. I think in week 1, Rogue found that them getting grubs wasn't working. They went towards stacking dragons. That hasn't completely been clean for them either, but it has been slightly more successful.
And there's no forced movements. Caps is looking for something. There's an ulti. It's nice from Larson. The flash away from Caps means he's in trouble. Larson matches it into Caps. The ulti's going to be popped, but there he gets pulled off a little bit early. Skirmishes comes flying in as well. The Pantheon with good momentum to chase the True Shot Barrage. Only going to tag a bit. Here's Malrung with the ulti, but it's a little late, and it's against a statue. Rogue
got about a minute 30-ish to go.
I have an angle onto him here.
Might indeed, because Caps has no flash. Permafrost with Larson able to hit and free hit would be good, but Skirmishes in the way. This turns into a 2v2 where for Skirmishes he's flashed on by Malrung. He still has the damage. Malrung looks too ambitiously and stares death in the eye. Skirmishes with first blood as Adam made the roam up and gets one for himself. The hero of Rogue on the board.
Not sure he took the damage from the Sejuani passive, but whatever, bit of a much for much.
Adam's coming in though, sneaky. LeBron, he's going to be ultied out. He gets interrupted as well with the quickness versus depth charge. Going to give him enough distance. Execute has minions in the way and an ulti committed, but Adam is going for the, I'm going to call it Cho'Gath build.
Oh, the super speed?
Yeah, we're going super speed, like, you know, versus the Avengers. Who's the one in Marvel who can... Who's got super speed? Like, who's...
Quicksilver, I guess.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Is the Flash not Marvel?
No, that's the other one.
Oh, no, the other one. We don't even say DC. No. They don't have a game. They probably did, but we just didn't play it.
Yeah, they had a movie about Flash, and it was... that's like the fail Flash over the wall. That's how I'll describe it.
Oh, good. Oh, Grub's going to go down. The trade is 3 for 3, and Skirmishes is just going to get a dragon, so we're going to have an even trade across the board. There's no real gold lead in this game, but what there is a Vet Pantheon versus Larson in a pretty good position. That's what I'll say, because again, this is here, as we already talked about, keeping up with the Talia, and I think this is one of the few lanes we've seen where Talia's not coming out at 15 minutes with the lead.
Especially in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
In Europe, I think that Talia has been such a crutch pick when I think of even mid laners which were struggling a little bit. Talia has been a good, comfortable pick for them.
In the river. Just going to be taken up by G2's top laner while Rogue are focusing on the Herald for now.
Vision.
Caps is indeed. He gets shuffled back and caught out. Caps dead. Shut down over to Malrung. Teleport going to be burned towards top. Adam comes in, but G2 have lost their mid laner.
Larson's on really good form in the first 15 minutes, really punishing G2. Now 3 versus 3 in the mid lane. It's not like G2 can get that much else. I'm kind of the dragon anyway here. BB gets alone time on turret though. So despite the kill going over towards Rogue, BB's getting a lot of value.
It really is. And again, I mean, this Galio, when you have double somewhat. But remember, G2 are going to be dragon stacking here in this game after the Cloud. 2 more to go versus this Herald to see if Rogue can get any more pressure and open up the map a bit.
I have to say, that last series of play where Caps is caught, kind of surprised G2 didn't respect that more. They were aware their vision was on the bot side of the map. Top side, dude, we already had a bit of an issue with Syzygy back when we had that. Skirmishes jumped onto. Not starting the fight just yet. Herald summon in mid lane, looking to break open the map. Of course, Rogue no real pressure in this mid lane just yet.
There's no Syzygy with this play, actually. Skirmishes caught out, but he buys some time, gets a stun down. The hero's entrance is good, and I was going to say that, but Skirmishes survived so much longer than I thought. Rogue couldn't get the damage committed, and they're probably just not at the point yet. Larson sped up by the Auroras. LeBron sets up with the quickness and the all-in. It's perfectly done. Skirmishes again just refuses to say die. Broken Blade has to flash out in the end, but he's okay. A permafrost followed by Rogue's Malrung, but G2 have won the play, and they've won it off the back of singular members.
Wonderful engage there from G2. That's going to stop any kind of gain that happened with that Herald there. In fact, Rogue are going to lose their own mid lane turret, and G2 now have every single outer turret.
But they're hoping for, I guess they're hoping because Larson has 2 items.
Patrick also just getting the transformation now. More about it. That's a good power spike. Of course, caught up very early in that last play. Rogue quickly taking the dragon down.
Well, Skewmon is going to face check this. Going for a 50-50 is like where we start. XQ tries to get in the way, but G2 do not. They leave it as 2 for 2 dragons in the game, as G2 also have the inside track towards mid.
Potentially a threat by G2. If they can seal off Rogue from going through that tri-brush, which they can definitely do with the Talia, that's a bit of a problem for Rogue.
They're all down here and on a ward. They know that it's started and that G2 are committing. Adam's going to be in first, but the face checking needs to be done by Execute and Malrang. Hans Sama is out of the blue, and they're just going to leave Atakan for now. G2 looking to draw in Rogue a little bit closer.
Broken Blade on the flank will be spotted. Oh, here comes Pantheon.
He just rolls on in onto Adam, onto Larson. Who do you want? He finds a mid laner, and with the Hero's Entrance as well, Broken Blade zones out the whole fight. Execute doesn't get a chance. Shield of Durand, a false turret behind them, but gives no inspiration to Patrick. He drops like a fly as Lebrov is the opposite answer. 2 for 1, bot laners get it hard.
Oh, it's a superhero landing from Skewmon, really helped out by the Galio. Splits the team fight wonderfully, and Rogue can't contest this Atakan now. Larson would have to teleport back in, but he hasn't managed to recall in time. Broken Blade holding the door shut. G2, good objective.
I mean, Broken Blade won't die to these two. It'll take a long time. He just punches away. Good zoning from Caps in the meantime as well. Skewmon's low, but they don't know that yet. Rogue are unaware, and with Tri-Brush control just lost as well. Skewmon, okay, now they spot him out, but the smite's going to come down, and GA acquired. G2 with another big back play.
I love this. That punishes you for not having information.
Very true.
G2, very clean game, and here come the ultimates.
Yeah, Larson, who was once killing, is now going to be frilling because he's up against a turret with no hope. The full dive comes online, and this is what G2's comp was built for. You say Ed2. I say G2 are still cleaning house.
For safe as well. Malorang's even trying to split push in the mid lane, because what else can he do? He can maybe head over towards the Baron, but without the Azir, you can't really fight. You're looking for a steal at best.
Broken Blade's getting the zone. Malrang gets nowhere near it. They're level 13. It's a level and a half down, and you just see how hard it is for Jungle to play the game. Shield of Duran is going to be a 1, only 1, but for Broken Blade at half HP, he's taken next to no damage. He's bought time. Execute with the depth charge, but Baron now down. Remember, they still have GA for a little bit, and it's going to be used out. 1 GA down, 200 gold for the cost of Baron. Not bad.
And of course, with the
just like roll over and die. I also think there's games where Rogue never say die. I'm not going to say that this game is done until G2 run it home, even though G2 are a top 2 team.
Hey, let's see if they can get it to 37 minutes again. They do get themselves G2, the extra chem tech.
I thought it
was going to be Sejuani meant to be on the other side.
Sejuani is Pumba, for sure. I don't know what Execute is. Wrong game, wrong movie franchise, just doesn't belong there. Dead for a 3rd time in this game as bot turret is going to open up with that pick as well, and here's a Pantheon ult rolling through. Skewmon going to zone off and make sure Piggy goes nowhere. Pumba needs to start singing now. Skewmon blocking some damage from Patrick is nice, but it's all for the turret. Send him away with Cap's ulti used well as Lebrov. A good dodge as well, because the turret was going to kill it with that two-shot barrage.
G2 pushing him very heavily, of course. Breaking...
After playing a couple of days of solo queue, trust me.
Okay, Baron is now up and available. Rogue can manage to push outside of their base. G2 maybe looking for a chance to pounce. Caps recalling, Dragon being taken would be Soul, and then Talia will look to teleport topside.
Well, I mean, Baron's not going down quick enough, so for Rogue, this could be so dangerous. Soul gone, Hans Sama might not be in, but he's going to be chasing down. Here's everyone jumping in. Pantheon Olden, Baron exposed and stolen! In front of Skewmon, Malrang stands no chance. A spear over the wall as well. Through the heart of Rogue, they run, but how far?
Well, we'll see. Caps doesn't have the wall anymore, but wants to put down that E. Does get hooked onto it.
And here comes the Hero's Entrance as well. Broken Blade, you're very much a hero here as Larson tried to separate the pack, but G2 are going to chase him down. Caps is looking for yet another as he wants his first kill of the game, rather, and Broken Blade going to chase down the remnants. That is Adam. This game in the 2 hard basket. And with longer death time as a base, it's going to be tatters, if not destroyed completely.
It has felt so anti-fun for Rogue to play this game.
Yeah.
G2 have had a stranglehold, and they have not allowed Rogue vision, they have not allowed them team fights, they have not even allowed them the few objectives that they've really headed towards. G2, very clean, very dominant.
On to the Nexus turrets. I mean, Malrang's up in a second, Patrick up in 15. They're going to try anyway, and G2 have the the soul, so it might help with the low health bars as Adam's ulti did nothing, and Malrang, as he steps up to defend, might be trying to do a little bit more than something as G2 run away. They're not going to take this full 4-5-on-5 that's soon going to become as True Shot Barrage comes through, and too low on the mana as well.
14k up.
We had the Genji Hummer life game that was like that as Larson, he's going to get away, but Caps
I don't know if he is.
Yeah, I mean, there's no chance, is there? He can do it himself. Skewmon tries to get involved, and with a 4 versus 5 now, Skewmon is now against the wall. Rogue might have an angle, but what angle is there? He's buying so much time. There's a hero's entrance. Skewmon is still alive. In goes Broken Blade, and yeah, Skewmon's going to die. They keep it a little bit competitive, but how do you kill Broken Blade as flying in to save the day as Hans Sama, and we're back to square one. Take a couple of kills to pad the stats. Hans Sama, he's going to end 4 kills up, open Nexus, and at 35 minutes, G2 make that slow burn, simmer out.
If you're a G2 coach, that is exactly what you want to see. That is textbook way to play that composition that well versus the bold spin to win. G2 do, however, again, because you can find those inroads in those team fights again and get some huge trades. Speaking of that, though, Larson, done that. He gets a great trade.
Maybe I talked him up too early. Malrang's here. Caps might have to burn the flash. Shield sets up, or rather, wind becomes lightning. Caps going to buy some time with Skewmon in the area. A turn possible, but Caps, he hit a shuriken flip on a minion there. Not the cleanest setup to go back into Larson.
And again, that's why we like this kind of matchup. One missed skill shot can make an awful lot of difference. And, you know, Larson's been an aggressive laner for many points of his career.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now Renaissance will be getting into a bit of a scary range there. Of course, the Ignite on Adam. Pay attention to that.
True. Judgment is starting to build up work as well, as I assume it's first setup as Malrang's flashed on. Twist Advance already used. Caps gets the shuriken flip, and rather it's just Fan of Knives setting up the passive as well. Malrang in so much trouble. A Bramble Smash and sets up to flip back in. Caps with first blood while LeBron makes sure execute.
Continue to have control over this mid lane. Always a little bit dangerous pushing up as a melee champion. Skewmon going on towards those grubs. Doesn't have his level 6 just yet as well. Such a game-changing ability from that Maokai. It's such easy engage across the board. BB on the weak side of the map. We've not really in his grasp right now.
Weird when you get stunned, but you still get the Q off, so he just moved. He just did the cha-cha slide to the ward.
Slide. My favorite animation weird pro moment. Season 5 Worlds, Victor versus Darius. I can't remember which matchup it was. Gravity Field, Darius froze Darius midway through ult, which is the stretch frame. So you had a Darius about 3 times as tall as he should have been. Oh, yeah. Hilarious. I'm sure there are pictures of it somewhere.
I mean, janky, like, before I think season 7 or 8,
yeah.
League of Legends, when it had bugs, they were janky. Maybe they still are. Dragon's going to be taken down. Adam just gets pounced up by LeBron. He'll be able to clear this wave fine. Remember, Adam's got courage.
Jax is probably the least valuable because the Alice is a better version of it. Oh, good trade from Caps.
Shuriken flip is clean as anything. Yeah, LeBron moves in as well. G2, there's a chance of getting 6 grubs versus a Garen. I mean, that Garen, he wants some pushing power. This is rough.
And I mean, the thing is, when you have a heavy melee team, it's hard to use your grubs effectively, especially when now Garen's up to the point where he just wave plays for forever and whatever. Of course, you deny them from the other team, but the big thing is, if Rogue misstep now, and in game 1, they didn't necessarily play the...
Must be good jungle tracking here because Skewmon is, Larson just ran in. He steals the Alistar ult though. To be fair, it might be doable. Adam's also on the way in, and it could be a bait that G2 have to play with, but with Chains of Corruption, with Skewmon, infinite CC hack successful. Larson has flashed out, Ignite has ticked over, and that TP, maybe in the end.
TP, and G2, very good at punishing.
And that Riftmaker, he hasn't gone back. He must be sitting on a lot of gold. So I'd assume Riftmaker, then maybe
successful for Rogue, or more successful in that first game. Hasn't led to much value right now. However, BB might have overstayed.
Maybe he can get the wave. Cannon minion is what I'm looking at here, but Adam might have an opportunity. Free ulti. Okay, it's a bait. Adam now picks up his first kill in the game. Cap's going to be trading with topside turret.
Yeah, the leap strike cancelled out, well played by Execute. However, on the other side, the cross map comes through. 6 grubs means that two attempts at the tower. Caps will take that one. 425 gold, as if he weren't fed enough already. Has Leandris, didn't go for the Riftmaker.
Yeah, okay.
So he's gone towards the first attempt.
I think there's more to tell here as Hans Armour is face checking into Patrick. Patrick feeling confident about this one. Chance Corruption come out. Hans is going to barrier for now. He's got range about.
First mentioning it all the same. If he walks into Adam, it's a Q.
Oh, against Broken Blade, he's still a little bit more confident. He's got Ignite now as well. Good little counter strike, and Execute coming in means we're going to rinse and repeat. Adam flashes down, even under turret. Execute will take it up. Shattering strike, and another kill. Broken Blade jumps away. Judgment was not available. Let's call it justice, because that's what it would have been if Adam found kill number 2.
Oh, so close. Adam very, very nearly comping up again. Labrov has the minion taxi.
Yeah, this time, this is going to be an easy kill. Returned over to execute Hansama. With Labrov's help, lands on the CC. Adam's just trying to get something back. He's got Demacia Injustice up and available again to cut through the Unbreakable Will. He needs a bit more damage, but Adam chunked up, slowed down Hansama. Going to poke him to the ground. Scumon's now made his way in, along with the rest of the dive from G2. Is going to shred their comp. Herald going to be started now.
Starting up now, and we did say, look, Rogue didn't have the best vision control around this. They put a couple of wards down. This is the moment where if Larson wants to make an impact to steal something like a Mark, I think this is the time to do. I don't think you want to give up a Rift Herald with 6 grubs, can you? I know they were behind on the map, but this feels like Rogue not contesting this. That's just going to be 3 mid turret down. The map's going to open up. G2 get it for free, and they're very happy with that.
I like against 6 grub comp, and they're going to take Dragon. Larson's up there having a tea party with the minions. Mid turret's gone. Dragon's about to drop as well because no one can step up to Caps unless there's 3 members.
But what is Rogue going to do about this? You have just lost 2 turrets, a Dragon here as well, and what have you gained? A little bit of time farming up all 3 lanes.
The swap again from G2. Can't say how clean it was enough as Adam's just trying to defend here, using Strikebreaker as best he can. The range from G2 being used. Maxwell, no, finally, a fight is there, but Chains of Corruption. Execute's going to get wiped. Larson TPs, but not a moment too late. G2 already away with the play, waiting for the next wave. Caps, look how deep it is. Caps is coming from behind, Broken Blade, the Jacks from downtown, from down away. A flash away from Adam, but the rest of the team are zoned down. It's a sick headbutt as Larson will take the Unbreakable Will, but you got to watch out. Caps in the middle, even though he's low, he'll survive. Oh! He's just that strong, baby. G2, all 5 members stand tall, and while summoners go down, Rogue are getting nothing.
The Omnivan from the Riftmaker, keeping Caps alive. They'll return to the Atakan. I don't really think Rogue have much to say about it. Feels like they have ran out of ammunition all too soon.
They just keep baiting them in. I mean, G2 can turn once again. The health bars provide. Broken Blade also now with the Sundered Sky. 2-item Jacks. They're going to commit to it, it looks like, at 5k, but if you look at your clock, you'll notice there is no Rogue on it this game, or at least this series. Atakan down, GA's enabled. Dragon's up in 45, another reset for G2 to test the waters again.
Yeah, and now they can use that Atakan for the next big objective.
So far, outside of that one gank, that one bait bot, but he's never run away with the game. You look at Larson as well on this Silas, constantly gapped in lane by Caps. As you look at him onto Malrang, we're going to get a 1v2 eventually, but Malrang, will he survive until then? The all-in with the rest of Rogue, as Caps is probably just bored at this point. He runs in, GA popped, and Larson takes the ulti. But my friends, you look at the rest of the optimism is high.
I mean, oh, hang on, BB.
He does still have GA, but 200 gold is 200 gold. Counter-Strike is out. It blocks the AD members, so Broken Blade gets to leap over.
And while this is happening again, just look, I mean,
Atakan has been done a while ago. The GA's at least expired. I truly wonder if Larson can win this, but I think the answer's probably no. Double buffs there for Broken Blade. Ulti for ulti. Let's have a go. At least we get to see some action. Larson slowly getting whittled down, and eventually the Sundered Sky will come back in, give him a bit more leverage. There it is. Larson heals up with the Kingslayer, but Broken Blade only 1v1. Labrov, go away. No one cares. Labrov! It doesn't count. Broken Blade got support. I think that's worthwhile. I speak the mind of the people.
Baron getting started up, man. G2, again, fighting really hard to just deny any sort of vision. Larson does have teleport. He is on one side of the map, but they're not going to be anywhere close to it. And Rogue, much like much of this series, not really having an answer to it. They're farming, well, I mean, he is teleporting now. Half HP on the Baron. Do they really feel like they can force something now?
All right, Execute, show me the best support steal of a Baron I've ever seen. The Ents go out, they slow down, Larson goes in, but Baron's gone. Now for G2, the fight begins. Finally, a team fight ensues. We haven't had one of those this game, but Rogue are losing it so handily. Hansama flashes the back of the pit, and while Larson looks to go in to find a target, he's in the middle of 3. Hans is dicing, dancing between while the rest of Rogue have already run away. And to Larson's credit, he does get a kill, but Caps is still healthy enough. On top of him, Shuriken Din. Meanwhile, Broken Blade died to Adam, so props to Rogue. They
say that one.
Nice one. I love it. Justice. Hell yeah. The most satisfying Garrett ult.
The last resistance of Rogue.
Rob waiting in a bush though. Adam probably didn't expect that. But the Rob just disengages and zones off because you look at top, they're going to go for the turret. Here we go. Demacia Injustice again. All right, G2. Maybe not as safe as you thought in this game. Broken Blade at half HP. Rogue get another.
Forgets that Alistair ultimate doesn't stop true damage and there's an engage coming through.
Yeah, but there's a Chains of Corruption and Execute's in harm's way. Skewmon taking enough, and now that Nature's Grasp is out with a good Bramble Smash, he disengages but over the wall. Malrang follows up until Broken Blade runs in himself. There's no more justice available as Execute is a free target. Patrick now pounced on as well. The Zonya's coming in handy as Broken Blade meets with Larson. He's rejoined in with the Scott Duck mid-air. Broken Blade still wants to take it, but he'll die too. G2 are playing with it while Caps is thinking about his entrance.
That mode of hands was out of position if something else would happen. Teleport into the top side of the map. Broken Blade has Sterex now for even more survivability. Elder in 40 seconds though, so we may well have an objective trade if we want to slow this down, but the Baron is being forced by G2.
G2 doing this pretty fast. Broken Blade zoning one side, Caps the other. Skewmon ready to turn. Nature's Grasp is sent out, and Adam not going to be caught by it, but you see G2 forget the Baron looking for the fight. Broken Blade jumps in, and Larson will steal the Unbreakable Will, but a good Shattering Strike set up with the Magnet Storm from Rel. Hunt Summer engaged on the backline by Larson, but Execute's already dead before they can help out, and once again the Compass 3. Larson, it worked last time, but they're stronger now. A double meanwhile by Caps and Broken Blade chasing down the final pieces of Rogue. Adam taking enough to deal with Broken Blade, I say that, but over the wall and over again. Adam is running, but he's got no friends. Under this turret, this will be his last call, and Broken Blade, he's going to take care of it all. 16-5 in the end, he might run forever, but G2 with a 2-0 is what you can take away from this perfect ending series.
A little bit long on the time, but never really in question. Rogue were out macroed, and G2, their coaches will be very happy with how clean the closeouts were.
Yes, they will indeed. G2 still on top, still looking good. Here in the LEC Spring, 3-0. Not dropping a single game at the start of this all.
Never really in question, was it? Maybe a little bit slow in some moments.
Yep.
Something to tighten up there, but realistically G2 played out the compositions the way that they were meant to be. I think Caps played absolutely fantastic.